Greetings, y'all. It is Matt from the Green Arcade. If I can find the right button, we'll be doing great. Yeah, but greetings, y'all. It's Matt from the Green Arcade. We're back playing some more Farming Simulator 25. So, down here in the southwest part of the map, Judith Plains, Montana, we're in the planting corn roll. So, let's get back to it. Just finished raining not too long ago here. Got the other planter back there in the background planting that field. I'm gonna go over and hit this new to us field. Got all these fields planted in corn. I think that's gonna be the theme down here in the southwest, is try to do a lot of corn down here. Go across this little ditch here, and then we will plant this one. Okay, that looks alright, I guess. Got the water effects on the tires there. See how shiny. Wait, where's he going? Don't drive off in the ditch, bro. I guess he's getting ready to do his little round there. Gotta do the inrows. Alright, we're rocking and rolling. Okay, so let's go take a tour. So we've got, almost everything planted in corn. Working on that field there. I think this will be the last field to put in corn. Besides that one, so just these last two fields down here. Still gotta plant some stuff up here. Haven't really decided what I'm gonna plant up here. I may just go ahead and do some barley. I replaced these two barley fields that we had over here. We picked up this one, it had beans in it. So planted these in corn. So I guess we probably should do barley up here. We'll look at those and get to that. I may end up buying that one. That one is in barley, 363. Is it ready to go? Yeah, corn there, it's ready to go. So, may end up buying that one. Depends on... Okay, it looks like it's in the early stage of growth, so... Yeah, I was going to say, it depends on when it's going to be ready. Alright, but let's go take a look around. I just finished working on this tree line over here. So you can see all the trees that we needed gone are gone. Go down here and look at our line that we niched out here. So this is the line. This is going to be the absolute borderline for these fields down here. So it comes all the way across down here. See where we kind of messed with it. So once we harvest these oats out of this field, we're going to take this field straight over this way. Plow this up right here. And then this will be the very bottom border. So what I did was I came through the woods before we got it completely cleared and did this this line here, so that I can kind of know where the plow line needs to be. It's gonna take a minute. It's quite a bit of acreage here, so we're picking up quite a bit. Plus we get the added benefit of having the field kind of straightened out here on the edge. A little hilly right here, but I think we'll be okay. I think it's not too bad enough to where the header won't go through there. If not, I'll have to come through and do a little landscaping, but I think it'll be okay. But you can see where we kind of came through and met up here. So this field will go straight that way, all the way to the highway over there. And then this one goes straight over to the railroad track. So it's one of those give and take things. You lose a little bit here, so this field actually came down here, But to straighten it out, you had to take off just a little bit, just where the grass starts here. But it is nice and straight. And then I'll come through once we've harvested. I decided to go ahead and do this part of the planting process just because we need a crop for next year. We didn't have the crop from last year. We need a crop next year. We've got to have crops. So went ahead and planted them. When we come in and plow these fields up, that's when we'll do the expansion of the rest of this this area here, and then that line will probably stay the same. So this is where the railroad tracks are. Can't really plow over those, that's for sure. So yeah, that's the status right there. So the bottom of this field will come all the way across through there, all the way to the highway over here. So it's time to move on. And the rest of the trees right here, I may come back and take these out. But at least I got the ones out of the way that where we're going to put the field at, we can do that. So I may come back and cut the rest of these trees. You can see there's kind of like a grass pathway here, right before you get to the creek. So yeah, I may come in and take those trees out, and I may not. I don't know. I haven't really fully decided yet, but it's a very strong possibility that I will come back. But for right now, we're going to move over to the next project area. I'm going to take that pipe in so I don't accidentally dump into anything. This one, I did go ahead and buy 2 more Brooks chippers, so we have 4 total now. Whoa, there's a sign there I hit. Took out the couple of trees down here at the bottom of these fields, and I decided to go ahead and buy this last field right in here. We own those other 2 over there already. So I went ahead and bought this one. This one's got clover in it. Matter of fact, it's got more clover I need to come and pick up and take to the harvester silos. But we didn't have any clover. The fields that we had up there that were in clover, we merged those together, so we plowed all that under, replanted that in beans up there. And then the project here, bought this field right here. This is the other clover field. Went ahead and bought that one. The project here is going to be merging a lot of this together. So this field here and these fields, they're going to be merged together in the future. Don't think I'll have to do too much landscaping here though. Ooh, there's a save. There's a save. Oh, those saves really get you. So this is kind of the next project area. We're going to be cutting these trees down. May have to come in and do a little smoothing, but I think for the most part it should be good to go. So we'll come out right here. We're going to cut all these trees, so you can see there's already like a little what would you call it? Like an old pathway here. We'll clear these trees out, and now we'll come and plow all this out. This is where the highway is that runs down to the blue farm, so that's the tunnel that goes across to the border of the map. Actually, wow, you can see the rock. It's a tunnel to a rock. Oh, boy. But yeah, probably come in here, plow this out, and merge some of these together. We can't go too far. I'm not going to cut any of these woods over here against the border. So the edge of this field, see this edge of the field is right, you can see the border back there. It's right up on the edge of it. So I really don't plan on going through here and cutting any of these trees, just because the tunnel's up there and it kind of masks it a little bit. So what I'll probably do is bring this field plow it around and make a curve right here. And I may leave this part of the grass there. I might actually put in some grass on the edge of that field back there. One of those situations where it's like, yeah, let's see what we need to do. You actually got to get to doing before you can actually, do too much. Definitely will probably leave a little grass strip between here and this little drop off right here. Then come out and then we'll take the edge of the field right along the wood line here. Got this cow pasture fence right there. Don't know that we will do any animals here, and I think you can get rid of these fences. It's something we might take a look at, because if we're going to do animals, which not if we're going to do them, it's when we get into doing animals. Probably going to do animals, I would say, at the red farm, and maybe down at the green farm down there. We don't own those yet, so that's something else we've got to get into and purchase at some point. The one thing that tempts me to take this fence away here is we can expand these fields this way all the way to the highway that way. So if you can get rid of the fence here, I think you can. And then the buildings, we can't do anything with. Then merge all this together. So this is going to be the next project over here that I'm going to work on. And then once we're done there, I'll come across the road. I've got to come up and plant this field too. Come across the road and take out these trees. And you can see there's another little grass area down here between here and the creek. So we'll take out all these trees. And then the plan here is to expand this small field up here. And make it a little more, what's the word we're using? Efficient? Productive? But yeah, got a fence there, so probably, I would say maybe bring it over this way. It depends on where the creek lies. I got to looking at this. Where am I at? We're over here. So I got to looking at this, and I think the edge of this field comes right up to the creek. So if we go and look in, let's go into flight mode here. Come on. Get there. That lag is real. So looking at the edge here, there's the edge of the field. So yeah, see the creek, it comes down this way. So we can only go to a certain point down here. So maybe filling some of this in with grass down here. And then I'd say maybe take the field maybe to this tree. Maybe the tree should be the kind of the marker where we need to stop the field. Maybe right before the tree. See, it gets kind of sharp down here, and it's like a rock kind of cliff. And that angle just won't work for a field. But right through here, right before you get to that tree, bring the field down across, down through here, and then come back up this way. So we might expand this over just a hair, but we'll take a look at it. Yeah, the creek definitely curves in there. Again, one of those things that we'll just kind of have to look at. So that's the next project. And the next project after that will be over here. We don't even own this field yet. But we do own this area with all these trees. So we can take out all these trees right here. And I would say in the future, maybe I really am hesitant to cut any of the trees against the border there, but I might take a few off right over here, because this field we could expand this way and bring it on down through here if we wanted to. Or we could do like we did across the highway here. Just take those trees out, and over here across the highway, this is where we did the clover. So we've got, oh, my roller missed a little bit there. We'll have to bring that roller in. We planted clover all through this strip right here. So this will be our clover field for the time being. We might change it. It might end up becoming a hay field. And then I came over here and planted alfalfa. So we've got this field all done together now. Just gotta wait for it to grow. And actually, you know, I think I might need to bring that roller over here and roll this a little bit. Cause won't that show up? Where's that field? There's that field. So it's fertilized, but one thing is the map doesn't load very quickly. Come on, go do that. There we go. Yeah, definitely. That definitely needs rolling. I don't know that I'm going to roll any of the big crop fields, but the alfalfa and the clover field, want to roll those, because all you got to do is after you plant them, you only have to roll them once. And then they will stay in that rolled state, because those crops, it's like grass, you know, it just regrows and regrows. So I need to bring that roller down here too. Let me grab that tractor. Got this tractor on sale. It is not... It's another one of those things where we already have one of these. This is the Case Magnum. But I went ahead and put tracks on it because I have plans on putting this on the plow and repurposing the 5088 to something else. But this one, you can use the roller manually. You could probably plant manually with it, but it does not like the hired workers for anything else. The tracks, there's an issue with the tracks. And you know, a lot of this stuff is like in-game design stuff, so it's not the design of the implements. It's the problem with the tracks colliding with well, I may have to get a smaller roller to do this. It's the problem with the tracks colliding with the implements themselves. And they're in-game, these are designed after in-game implements. These are Stevie ones, but I'm gonna have to hit that at an angle. Or something here. This is a big roller. This is a roller really that's probably designed for more of a open flat field. Did I get it? I got it. Okay. So we'll fold that up and head down here. This should be better on the alfalfa down here. But yeah, we learned a lesson. The tracked version of the New Holland, got that on the plow now. We're not ever going to put those back on the planters. For sure. The only ones going on the planters will not be the tracked versions of these tractors. But it's nice to have the tracked versions of these tractors. So yeah, got lots of work to do. And that'll be a big thing to really try to get as well is, you know, we'll get more wood chips for the winter. We'll have something that we can sell this winter before we have a chance to sell any of this surplus crop, anywhere from the dried corn to the beans that we've got planted. So because none of that will come until after next summer. Okay, let's roll this. Thought about coming back and putting a grass edge over here, just because any implement used through here, that's going to be really close. So I may come and put a straight, perfect edge grass line right against the telephone poles there. Power poles? Telephone poles. Power poles? What do y'all call them where you're from? Do you call them telephone poles or do you call them power poles? I think they're called pretty much either one here. Telephone poles or power poles. I would say they're probably more likely to be power poles now instead of telephone poles, if you want to get really technical, because nobody has landline phones really anymore. Even if you have like a business that has landline phones, most likely it's not an actual landline phone. I know, like, in a lot of places, including mine, the landline phone is actually done over the internet. So it's not technically, I guess technically it's done over the internet landline, but it's not the traditional, phone line. I guess we'll call them power poles. Because I do see transformers on the poles, so. Our poles here, they have telephone hard lines, I think. Or they used to. I don't know if they still do. They have cable lines for like your, like your cable. Your cable internet, cable TV, stuff like that. And then they have the power lines. There's some places that have their power lines run underground. I wish I lived in a place like that. That'd be nice. That way, anytime a limb or tree fell in the winter during an ice storm, or high winds or a tornado come along or something like that, you'd at least still have power. Now, knock on wood, in case a big earthquake or something like that happened, having your power lines under the ground, I think it would be better. It's one of those benefits versus risks type situations. What's more likely to happen? Yeah, the power lines on the poles are probably easier to repair, but you wouldn't have to repair them as often if you run them underground, because most likely if they're going to be damaged, it's going to be, from high winds or an ice storm, or, some driver that didn't, drive right and crashed into a pole and broke it and knocked it down. So let's think of all the trees you'd save. They wouldn't need as many of the wooden poles or anything. Of course, I know now they're going to a lot of the areas are switching from wooden power poles to the steel power poles, which you think it would be. I bet that they got to cost more, but I don't know. Run on down through here. Alright. Check the map. Alright, no longer needs rolling. And again, the rest of the fields I'm not even going to bother rolling, because it's one of those things that it takes time, and it's only like just a very, very small percentage of the yield bonus. So it's like maybe 1 or 2%. So, but as it is right now, bring that back up. We do have the 95% yield bonus on here. So there's that. All right, so we got those rolled. See, these don't need to be rolled. These are the original OG fields. Have been working on plowing a lot of this up here. So let me shut this tractor off. And we'll go to that tractor right there. That's the one I plowed out the new clover field with. Did some work over here. We cleared out these trees. Still haven't decided if I'm going to do grass up here or if I'm just going to bring a crop. I'm most likely going to bring a crop up here. Probably, I don't know, maybe corn. Might make another clover field. Might, I don't know. I think we're okay on the alfalfa. We've got plenty of alfalfa over there. But I did plow it out and expand it, so it's down this hill here, kind of that way. This is the original grass. Came down this way. Curved it down here. That kind of comes behind the sheep area here. And then curved it out this way. So there's definitely an expansion of area here. I could do corn in here, but I've already planted corn north of where I'm at here. So just across the tracks, you go into the trestle. I did these 2 fields in corn. I did these 2 fields in corn. So you've got the Pac-Man field and the bugle chip field. It looks like a bugle chip, doesn't it? Did those in corn. But then did a whole lot of corn down here. So we've got a lot of corn. Did do one more field that is a new crop for us. Anyway, this is in rice. So I actually swapped out mods. They came out with a new rice mod in the mod hub. Now I don't know if it's for console, but it's definitely on the PC in-game mod hub. We had the, what was the mod called? Rice in the fields? Rice fields or something like that? Basically, all that let you do was plant rice with a normal planter or seeder, in the fields. But you had to either use the in-game, Japanese rice harvester. The only thing that mod did was let you do the fields without having to, flood the fields and stuff like that. A new rice mod came out. And what was the name of that one? Gosh, hang on, I'm gonna have to go look now because I don't remember that one. One was called Rice in the Fields, I think. Let's see. Let me go to the mod hub and just search it real quick. All you have to do is really just go over there and search rice, and it should pop right up. So the new one is called Rice Harvest Mod. The old one that we had was Allow Rice on Fields. So yeah, with the previous one that we had, basically all that really let you do was allow rice on fields. You didn't have to flood the fields. You could plant them with, I guess, any planter or seeder in the game. But you still had to use on the rice, you had to use the Japanese, little harvester, the little Iseki. Go in here and look at that. Where is that at? If you haven't seen it by now, it's that one. It's very tiny, very small. But with this new one called the Rice Harvest Mod, it allows you to use any of the grain headers. Now we did have the grain header, the Colossus grain header that we could have used, but with this new mod, with the Rice Harvest Mod, it allows you to use any of the grain headers. So we can use the big one, we can use any of the ones in between. You can use the harvesters, and then again, you can still plant your rice. And you might be saying, well, that's not realistic. You have to flood your field. Well, not if we've come up with a new technology. What was the story we were going with? We were going with, what is this? This is like GMO rice or something like that? No, we found a new way of, Well, I guess, yeah, GMO rice, yeah, to modify the rice where, you know, they don't need as much moisture. Or we could come up with a thing, well, you know how they have drain tiles for the fields? We have flood tiles for the fields. Basically, it hydrates the soil underneath. We got pipes running under there or something like that. I don't know. It works. It makes the rice a whole lot easier to plant and then come in and harvest. So looking forward to doing that. We picked up some more fields down here. So basically, yeah, that's kind of it. So we got rice there. We've got corn all down here. We've got beans all up here. Gosh, we're gonna have so many beans. There's nothing wrong with that. Money and beans, right? And then we did buy the oat fields. So we've got that one, that one, that one, and that one. Just need something good in this field. And then we can do all that together right there. Alright, so that's the update from here. I'm going to work on tree work. We're just about done planting corn down there. I'm probably going to come in and do what I originally had planned to do and plant barley up here. And then we'll be doing something farming related, I'm sure. Alright, until the next time, guys. Remember, you reap what you sow. It's Matt from the Green Arcade. We'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good one.